welcome to the Slightly Biased Podcast, your award-winning Boston podcast, #1.
Now on Spotify.
I'm Vinny.
I'm Grayson.
I am Derek.
Internet Derek.
Internet Derek.
Cool. I pulled my back today.
How'd you do that?
I don't know. Just sitting at my goddamn chair in my desk at work.
Maybe you should get a standing desk.
They say sitting's the new cancer.
That's what
I've
they
heard
say
that.
it's the new smoking. Sitting's the new
Yeah.
smoking.
Yeah.
Sitting's the new smoking. That's right.
Yeah. I was just sitting at my desk and I leaned. I don't know. I flexed it a weird way. Like I curled my tailbone in. I don't know.
Well, you curled your toes? Were you doing something inappropriate?
No. Like I was just stretching my back and yeah. All right. I pulled my pelvis forwards. You know.
Oh, that can't feel good.
Stretching my lower back by hunching over basically, and it just made a little pulling sensation. Didn't like it.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's going to be okay. But I did hear online today the coronavirus, the first symptom is your back.
A pulled back?
So, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. They say the coronavirus is the new cancer, smoking.
Coronavirus is the new pandemic.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. I played an episode of Plague Inc.
Oh, I did too last week, actually. I saw
Yeah?
on my desk.
Yeah.
I won to put it on the easy mode.
I had it on normal and I won.
Kind of felt bad, but
I had it on
that's
normal.
the one where
You
if
play
you
as a
fail,
virus.
everyone dies, right?
No, you win by killing the whole planet. You play as the virus.
yeah.
It's called Plague Inc. I played it on my phone when I was at work.
Is that the one that was out years ago when I was in school?
No.
There was an
No.
older version, but I don't know if it was the same developer. It was a super old internet browser one.
It's the current one's a relatively new game. It's maybe 8 years old, if that.
Yeah.
Probably less.
Wow.
But I won. I started in England on normal, and that's a hard place to start because they got the good antibiotics. But I won anyway.
Good job killing the world.
Thanks.
Really proud of you.
It made me very conscious of how easy it is for us all to die from plague. Coronavirus, bring it on. Let's go.
Before we hop into our weeks, I just want to make an announcement that later in this episode, we will have a special guest calling in from somewhere in the world.
You'll see if you listen.
All the way in to probably 30 minutes.
Yeah, halfway.
Derek, how's your week been?
It's been a week.
Proud of you.
Been real busy. Working. Looking for a new apartment. So that was
Ooh.
something. Yeah, just a busy week. It's the last week of our fiscal year, so just buckling down.
Hence the internet, Derek.
Hence Internet Derek. I will be back in person, Derek, for 1 week.
I will not be here next week,
week.
so we cannot do this in
Oh.
person.
Oh, never mind.
we just won't
I
record,
won't
or-
be in
No,
person
I'll do it
until-
remotely.
Okay.
I'll bring the stuff
I
with
won't-
me where I'm going.
You're gonna bring
I
the
won't be in
roadcast?
person
Only
until after
driving
my
somewhere.
surgery then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, your surgery. Yeah.
Surgical Derek. Broken Derek.
Healing Derek.
Broken Derek. So Broken Derek. So they said I should be on crutches for 2 to 4 weeks. Hopefully it's 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Just make sure you hydrate.
Hydrate or dihydrate, am I right?
Thanks, guys. So helpful. So yeah, that's that.
Cool. How's the hunt going?
The apartment hunt?
Yeah.
It's going. It's going. We looked at a few places in Brookline on Saturday. But we were a bit thrown off because those ones had broker fees, which are not fun.
Yep.
So we looked at a couple places in Cambridge as well.
Hate broker fees. Such bullshit.
Just get another realtor.
yeah, we should hopefully have some guy we've kind of made a decision, but we need to hear back from the building. So
Coronavirus.
hopefully we'll hear back in the next few days.
I wonder if your computer can get the coronavirus.
Probably.
Cool. Well, good.
Yeah, it's so yeah, we'll see on that. And I think we're gonna try to move in a couple months, which will be cool.
Mozart,
And
give him a ring.
You've been downtown for 10 months, you said?
thereabouts, yeah, maybe a little bit less.
What's making you want to leave the downtown area?
How much time do you have?
Is it the price?
How much time do you have?
Is it just crazy?
Give me the top
it's-
3 reasons.
It's
Biggest
the
reason.
building.
The building's the
Oh.
problem? Okay.
It's the tenants.
Oh.
Like,
Scandal.
so we live in a building that we didn't realize that there was a huge population of undergrads in it,
Hell yeah.
Whip, whip.
and they're just really loud and disrespectful most of the time.
Wow.
So
Would you
we
say-
just don't love it here.
Given that the average 1-bedroom apartment price in Boston is around $2,500, would you say you were paying above or below average?
That would be amazing if I paid below average.
So you're paying
Managed
at
buildings,
or above
man.
the average of that.
What was that?
So you're paying at or above the average of like
Above.
25. Okay. I'm surprised that students can afford that. Well, then again, you know,
International
Daddies
money.
can.
I also see a lot of BU students driving around in like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and shit. So never mind. BU.
Yeah, it's
fucking
BU more like PU.
more like
I don't have a clap.
I don't. Didn't you have a drum? But
Yeah, it's not on one of these boards.
it's not on here. Where's the but
but yeah,
There it is,
it's the
the rim
problem
shot.
is it's all international college students and they're all like born with silver spoons, you know?
Yeah, the kind that have a Ferrari and go to BU or an Audi. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know the type.
So
He does know the type.
Yeah.
He does.
I'm
That's
a little
true.
familiar. I'm familiar
So
with
they're
the
like-
BU student with the nice Mercedes.
they're kind of the worst. They're loud and obnoxious. And I got home. Did I tell you guys how I got home the other after the UFC fights a couple weekends ago? And there's a fist fight in my lobby.
You did not.
Yeah, there was like a gaggle of college students. We'll say like 40
A
of them.
gaggle?
A gaggle.
What did the gaggle
And,
sound like? Show us how
and,
gaggles sound.
One blackout dude just started a fist fight. And I was like, sweet, I live in a college dorm and I pay way too much.
When I was an RA back at UMass Amherst, I was an RA in one of the party buildings, and I had to break up. I couldn't call it a fight. It was a domestic disturbance. There was a really drunk, probably not blackout, but probably close to blackout, drunk dude, and he was trying to pick a fight with his like ex-girlfriend and this dude who I would assume now they were probably like, it was one of those love triangle kind of
Probably
things.
married now
Yeah.
with kids.
Well, that too. But anyway, this guy being belligerent broke a glass, like from the dining hall. He just walked out with a glass. It was like one of those dining hall glasses shattered on the elevator lobby. It was a tower. And I was trying to get him to like
Which tower at UMass was it?
Washington. One of the Southwest towers.
I've been in Washington before.
Really? I was an RA.
Yeah.
I was the 21st floor RA. Anyway.
My friend lived on 20 or 21. I'm trying to remember which one.
21.
But this was
it would be 21. 20 is a female floor.
Okay. Yeah, I mean this was jeez.
Unless your friend was a female. Anyway.
This is like 8 years ago probably, so it's been a while.
So, yeah, anyway, I was like trying to get this guy to calm down. I was like, I'm going to call the cops if you don't like chill. And he was like, ooh, like wouldn't have it. And then eventually he started picking up the glass that he had broken and just like putting it into his cupped hand. And he had this pile of glass in his cupped hand. And of course he was drunk, so he wasn't doing it carefully. And of course, like eventually, like after 10 seconds of doing this, he started gushing blood out of his hand. And I'm like, of course, well, fuck, what did you think was going to happen? Like, I literally told you not to start doing that because you're going to cut yourself, and then you cut yourself, and now I have to call the cops. Like, are you happy? Is this what you want? He's like, ooh. I'm like, all right, I'm calling the cops.
Have you seen Blue Mountain State?
Have I seen what?
There's a show called it used to be a show called Blue Mountain State or BMS.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's hilarious. It's stupid, but it's funny. But there's a bit that they do where this guy is trying to get out of a fight, and how he gets out of the fight, he goes the other dude who's like bigger than him, he goes, I'll jerk you off with both hands. So it sounds like
Did that work?
it seemed to.
Wow, what a win-win.
Wow.
So next time you run into a scenario like that, say you want to go back to your glory days of being an RA, re-enroll in school.
I probably won't.
Now you know how to avoid confrontation.
Dissolve the fight, yeah. I know of a few strategies of dissolving fights.
What
Take
else?
your clothes off and run at them.
That's not one of them. No, like real ones.
Oh, Eagle
Well, what
Scout.
are they?
One of them is to stare at them and make no movements and say nothing, and eventually they'll just get like creeped out and bored and walk away. Basically, you just basically stare at them and be unresponsive.
That sounds like a 50-50 kind of deal.
Well, it depends on how
Just
crazy
being
they
like,
are.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like, you know what?
That sounds
Fuck
like
you.
if
I'm gonna
they're
hit you
real
now.
crazy, that would just piss them off more.
But like you're not it's very tactical. Like you gotta not do a creepy stare, not like a I'm gonna fucking kill you stare. Not
like
not
a
one of those.
sensual, I'm gonna fuck you stare.
No, it's like the most poker face you can make, and just basically make it clear like I'm
He's
not
making
gonna
a
say
face, guys.
you know?
For those at home, he's making a face right now.
Just
I'm walking away. I'm done. He
yeah,
wins.
you just make the face. Like it's kind of a combination between a poker face and a really face.
Really?
Like really? Like
really?
you just kind of make that face at them and don't say anything. And eventually they'll keep saying things. They probably won't escalate. And eventually they'll probably leave. But you can also there's one that's more effective or more shared and spread among females who are worried or concerned for their safety in public when they're alone or when they're on a bus or whatever it is. It goes under the principle of be weird, be rude, stay alive. That's like the mantra. And be weird, be rude, stay alive. Because a lot of like people get in trouble, or a lot of times a girl can make a situation worse for herself by like being too polite and like not ending. Yep. If you're just rude to the dude and like they can't. It's situational. You don't want to like be rude to someone who's aggressive and crazy. But if somebody is like trying to flirt with you, if you're just rude to them, they don't want to flirt with you anymore. And they're not being aggressive; they're just being too flirty. Just be rude to them.
What if that's their fetish, though? Is someone being rude to them?
I mean, that's the weird part. So you got to be weird, be rude. Like, so you got to kind of do both.
Be rude and be like a cat lady.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, exactly.
But what if the dude's into weird and rude girls? Like, what if that's their thing?
Well, this will work in most of the situations. I think most guys aren't into that. If the guy's being creepy is into weird, rude people, I guess just do a victory screech from SpongeBob.
Jeez.
Just yell, just like until they leave. Make a really annoying loud noise and just act like a lime bicycle that got kicked over.
What was the craziest thing you had to deal with as an RA? Like, what was the single craziest incident?
Well, one of the craziest was that dude who I had to call the cops on because he wouldn't stop picking up broken glass.
That's definitely a weird one.
That was up there. Man, it's been like 7 years. It's hard to remember.
Write a book. Write a memoir.
Yeah, or 5 years. Yeah.
Tales of an RA.
I mean,
Vinny was my RA.
I could probably, if I thought about it for long enough, I could think of a ton of crazy stories that other people told me. A lot of the like base level of it is just guys being gross and weird and crazy.
Chads.
Yeah, just people being belligerently drunk and aggressive and fighting each other, and that's like the most common thing.
How often?
I'm sure there are people like I know a couple stories about like people who had to like throw away or confiscate a ridiculous amount of either alcohol or drugs, and they're like, okay, well, I don't know what to do with this very large amount of drugs and alcohol, so they would either like call the RD or the resident director.
Did anyone ever scream World Star?
No.
Okay, just curious because that was around the time frame World Star was.
Were
still
you
a
ever
thing.
there when the Patriots won a Super Bowl?
I was there when the Red Sox won the World Cup, actually.
Oh, the World Cup.
The World Cup.
Is it the World
They
Cup?
get a lot of goals.
What's it called?
World Series.
World Series. Sorry, I was there when the Red Sox won the World Cup, the fucking Harry Potter, I think, right? The World Cup. Anyway,
Same thing, Same
is
thing.
it Harry Potter? I don't know. Yeah, they won the World Series, and yeah, there was a riot, a huge riot. Yeah, it was in the world. It was there was a riot. I was in Southwest. There was a riot. A lot of people just breaking stuff and throwing
So ridiculous.
themselves.
So ridiculous. What year was
it was
this?
a riot.
Was this 2013?
It must have been
Had to be 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Yes, it was 2013.
That was like their third World Series in like less than 10 years, guys. Relax.
Yeah.
Relax.
It wasn't. It was unnecessary. There was another riot the next year, I think, when the Patriots won the Super Bowl, 2014.
Yeah.
There was another riot then too.
Wow.
I think it was.
Kids.
I think Maybe people weren't there. It might have been during winter break.
No, it's
No, it wouldn't
Super
have
Bowl's
been.
in first weekend of February.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, crazy shit. That's how to de-escalate a situation. You had some people fighting in the lobby of your building.
This is good to know.
So you want to move.
Perfect. Tips and tricks.
Yeah.
You should tell your neighbors this, Derek.
Yeah, maybe we should rebrand the podcast to like a tips and tricks podcast.
Tips and tricks. Are we real tips and tricks or are we like joke tips and tricks?
Jokes. Always the jokes.
Joke tips and tricks. Pro tip. You want to make a bet on a sport? You
How do you sports bet, Grayson? I really want to do it.
You take your hand, you take a sun visor, the plastic clear ones with the no top on the hat, it's just the visor.
Yeah.
You rub that like a lamp.
Wears, yeah.
You rub it like a lamp until the genie comes out, and then you pay him in fish scales. And eventually he'll take the fish scales.
You know what's funny? I heard a story today about a fish scale oven mitt.
Really?
Yeah. I'll have to look at that up.
We might have to turn to our sponsor to hear about that.
We'll look into that after.
Okay.
Is that your week, Grayson? You threw your back out and thought about college?
I threw my back out, and right now I'm thinking about UMass.
What a week!
I played D&D yesterday, and after we played, one of the guys in the group was like, "Hey, I brought some CBD hemp. If anyone wants to smoke some." So we went outside and smoked some.
You play
CBD
with
hemp.
Rob Gronkowski?
It was really weird because I've smoked weed out of a bowl before, but I've never smoked just hemp out of a bowl, and it was like it was just below the legal definition of marijuana, so it wasn't.
What's the point?
It didn't have this THC in it, so it didn't get you high, but it was hemp that had a high concentration of CBD, so it made you very relaxed.
Oh.
Nice, and I smoked a big old fat bowl of that shit with him. We chilled.
With who?
Sick.
With one of the guys from my D&D group yesterday.
Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, Rob Gronkowski's in my D&D
He's
group.
really good at football.
And D&D.
Rob Gronkowski,
He's a good rogue.
For some reason, I don't think he plays D&D.
He's really good at winning Stanley Cups.
Shows what you know. Anyway,
Fine.
Maybe you should learn to know Rob Gronkowski better.
Yeah.
I probably should.
Join my D&D group.
Yeah.
With Rob.
I still haven't gotten the Discord invite.
Yeah.
So I'll send it eventually.
Sure you will.
I will.
But yeah, great. So once the Super Bowl happens and I can...
Yeah, there's no rush because you
around.
can't play yet, so I'll send it. I'll send it when it's the time to plan the one you're actually going to.
Yeah, once I just need to be off crutches, and then I'll be Gucci.
Cool.
Sick.
Sick. Dope.
You guys,
sick.
how often do you guys go to Starbucks?
What was that?
Never.
How often do you guys go to Starbucks?
Like never.
I don't go anymore. I have a Keurig now.
When you went there, did you ever get any drinks that weren't like coffee?
That weren't coffee?
No.
Yeah. The hibiscus ones all the time.
So I started getting the dragon drink there. I love the dragon drink. It's the pink one.
Oh, the pink dragon fruit one.
Yeah, it's so good.
How good was it?
So good. I don't have any drops for that.
That's okay.
And I got one.
You're supposed to say, it was so good. I cried.
I got one, and an older lady, probably in her 40s, 50s.
Was it Ruth?
No.
Damn it.
It was a customer at this Starbucks. And
tried to take it from you?
No, she made a comment. This was on Boylston Street.
Is this critical information?
In Boston?
In Boston.
Boston.
Which one on Boylston Street?
One at the library.
Which one?
Oh, I know that one. The 443.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one that's across the street from my office. I go there all the time.
And I heard her say as I was walking out, "Who orders a pink drink?" Listen, bitch, I do.
That's rude.
It's fucking good.
Yeah, maybe
it is a really good drink.
Did you say anything?
No, I'm a coward. I didn't say nothing. I walked out.
I'm a coward.
I will say, normally you are, but I've seen you drunk where you have a little
I was not
bit
drunk
of,
at Starbucks at 11 a.m. on a Sunday or
That's
Saturday.
fair.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time. You probably don't even remember it. So.
I do. I know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
I remember your story too from that night.
I'm not a coward. I probably still wouldn't have said anything though.
It doesn't seem worth it.
It's
Yeah.
not worth it.
Because I was over there because I was setting up my wedding registry. Yep. They had a
What
special.
store?
Do you have it on Amazon or
No, I will not say the story yet, as we are not ready to share it. but it'll be coming out soon.
Right, because all you need to know is your name in the store, right?
Yeah, so I can't say the store.
You can't say the store.
And they let us go in there on a special wedding registry private event where other couples go in and there's no customers. You can just look around and no
does
pressure.
the specific store matter, or is it any store in that chain?
It's
like
any store in that chain.
If I ask you like if it's Bed Bath & Beyond, you can't say yes because
it is Bed Bath & Beyond. How dare you? It's not.
Any Bed Bath & Beyond would.
It's just a website.
Is that how it works?
Yeah,
oh,
it's just a website.
Okay.
But yeah, they let us go in there and look at all their stuff.
Why didn't you use like Amazon?
Because Amazon is shit.
What are you talking about? They have everything.
Yeah, but you can't look
By
at
definition.
it in person.
Yeah,
It's like when you're getting a wedding registry, you want to get like higher quality stuff.
Make the guests spend more money.
I'm not asking you to spend it. You can combine with other people. You don't have to, or you can give me cash.
Sure.
I'm just saying because when you're getting married, you want a higher quality thing.
I'm gonna give you $5.
I don't want Amazon basic sheets. I don't want Amazon basic plates.
You don't have to get Amazon basic.
I understand
plates.
Amazon
that.
basic sheets are actually really good.
They are. First of all, they are actually really good. Second of all, you don't have to get them. You can put the higher quality.
Yes, but
stuff
I
on.
want to go see it at the store.
Yeah, that's fair.
I want to talk to the people who work there.
That's fair. That's legit.
I understand
when
Amazon.
Do you want to do that?
You could look at the reviews as well.
Then you have to trust that reviewer is actually a sane person.
You're only looking at one review on things?
What do you do?
I look at the stars and how many reviews there are.
You ever heard of bots? Yeah, those are bots ranking those products.
I think Amazon is good about catching bots, actually.
Jeff Bezos is a fool.
Jeff Bozo. Jeff Bozo doesn't know not to click on a link from the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia.
While I was at that store and I was leaving, have you ever guys seen the bike hooligan gang in Boston?
Wait, like
the
a bicycle?
It's a bunch of kids on bicycles that run up and down like Boylston Street
Like bicycles?
during traffic. Yes, bicycles.
Wow.
Have you ever seen this?
No.
You got to go see.
I do, however, live in Dorchester, so I have seen the moped gangs, and they are fucking hilarious.
They're definitely associated with each other.
They're fucking hilarious. Because you know the boozer scooters? You know?
Yeah.
The ones you don't need a license for? The ones you see like old Chinese ladies driving, and also mobs of people in Dorchester. I see them mobbing down the street all the time, and like always the guy in the front is doing a little wheelie.
Yeah, that's the same gang. They have bicycles in there too, and like mopeds and scooters.
So funny.
It's like these fucking kids are insane though. It's like get the fuck out of here. They're in the middle of the road driving down it.
Hey, those are their roads too, buddy.
They're not. God, it's so annoying.
That's
These little
the
fucking
mentality.
brats.
That's
these
the mentality.
brats rolling down like. You think you're fucking cool because you're on a fucking 10-speed? Get away from me.
Get out of here with that 10-speed.
God
Some of them have motorized like battery powered bikes.
Yeah,
too.
some of them do.
Yeah?
They mix and match.
Oh, I bet.
I want the cops to arrest them all and put them in kitty jail forever.
Kitty jail.
Forever. And to never be seen again.
Oh
So wait, do you not like them? I'm confused.
No, he loves
I hate
them.
these Gen Z fucks.
He is one. It's low key. This is his front. He actually is.
No, yeah, he was moonlighting as the leader of a scooter gang.
Yeah.
This is just my cover, guys. I fucking hate them. Just kidding.
Speaking
And
of
on that
hating
note-
people,
Oh, wow.
and just
I love hating people. What's up?
have you guys seen the new Curb?
No.
No, I don't watch Curb.
I love Curb, but I
Just
have not
'cause-
watched
I think we
it.
talked
Just
about
because
this last week.
Larry hates everyone. So
Well, Derek
it's,
hates. Grayson hates Curb, so.
I don't hate Curb.
I don't like the humor. I'm not really a funny person, so I just
Oh
don't
my
get
God.
it.
I don't mind the humor. I would
Where's-
just rather watch
Where's
other
the
things.
slapstick? Where are the grotesque, raunchy jokes? Where's the
I-
Judd Apatow humor?
I typically don't like comedy unless it's highbrow. Unless it makes me think. We've been over this.
Yeah, because you're so intelligent.
I am.
You're like Donald Trump Jr. fucking 180 IQ.
Ooh, does he? I don't believe
I think
that.
Eric said that on
That-
Twitter. I
that
think it's
definitely-
160.
That definitely
I think he
is
said
not.
like a 160
No way.
IQ.
That can't
That's
be
right.
right. He's definitely not.
Really?
That's definitely a lie.
Because people with those IQs say it all the time to people, so I don't know.
He probably took an IQ test by that hack quack doctor that Trump goes to.
He doesn't have dementia. He's cool. Anyways.
Have you saw those videos? Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
sent me
did.
those videos on
Yeah.
Twitter of him having a shoulder spasm and tripping over his words during
Mhm.
a rally.
Drugs are really bad. You know, kids? Don't do uppers.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do fucking Adderall, uppers, all that kind of shit.
He's
Wait, who was
messed up.
tripping over what?
There was a video that Vinny sent me on Twitter of Trump at a rally, and he's his right shoulder jerks forward as in a twitch, and then he stumbles over the word Christmas, I think it was, or
Criminals. I think it was
criminals.
criminals.
Trying to say the word criminals, and he goes look.
You can play it on your phone right now.
Oh yeah, you know what? I probably will. I'm paired, right? Yeah,
Yeah, you can play it on your phone.
I'm gonna play it right now. Here it is.
Shelter, criminal. Look, wait. And shelter, criminal. Look, wait. And shelter, criminal. Look, wait.
The thing is, though, in that video, his right shoulder twitches at the same time.
When he goes the
twitches.
his shoulder twitches.
Yeah, he's not healthy. Anyways.
It's creepy.
Anyways. Oh, did you hear the news? The Middle East is for sale.
Oh, this is also that phenomena is called anacoluthon.
Perfect.
When it's a type of like brain disorder.
Yeah, whatever.
Or it's a symptom
Great.
of
Good
it's
for
a
him.
symptom that happens when you have certain brain
Couldn't happen to a better guy. Anyways, the Middle East.
How is the middle? What?
The Middle East and Central Square is for sale for like 40 or 70 million.
Oh, I thought you meant the actual Middle East.
Yeah, the whole entire area is
Yeah,
for sale.
I was gonna say, what is the joke? What is the punchline of this? No, yeah.
The Middle East, like
The Middle
club
East bar, the club, yeah, in
Central Square is for sale. And it sold last in 2014 for like I think 14 million.
Do you mean the whole thing as is to new management, or what does that mean for this? Like the sale, like they can do whatever.
I think it's all for sale.
I'm assuming
the business and land is for sale.
I'm assuming whoever buys it could keep it as is, or
I think
do
they're gonna tear
something
it
new.
down and build the condos and apartments.
Probably.
That's what they did.
Fuck, I fucking hate that.
But they want
I
like
love the Middle East.
they want like $40 million for it.
Take down the
That's
Middle
insane.
East.
I think they just want to see if they can get the money for it. The place sucks though.
You know what?
There's no pop punk nights.
You know
Fuck
what?
that
As
place.
mad as I am about that potentially happening, I have to say, if I owned the Middle East and thought I could get 40 million for it, I'd probably try to sell it.
Yeah, during this rush of new people coming to the city. Yeah.
Sell while the housing market is booming, even if the housing market boom is contributing to higher housing prices.
Mm.
Anyway,
I also ordered. My
I hate
save
them,
the
but
dates.
I can't blame them. Ooh, save the dates.
Yeah, so you'll be getting your save the dates pretty soon.
Yay.
So-
Hopefully it gets
That's
to me.
exciting.
I don't really trust the
Oh,
postal service.
on the invitations, Grayson, and the pamphlets for the wedding. Do you want your full name or do you want just Grayson?
You can put Grace.
You don't want Edward?
Oh no, don't put Edward.
Why? That is your full name, and this
Yeah,
is before
but you're
God.
not. Yeah, but you're not the IRS or the Department of Transportation, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you'll be before God.
Yeah, come on.
I'll be before
this is for
God. I'm getting married.
You're gonna be in the church with me, so
I've been in a church before.
yeah, cool.
That doesn't.
Whoa!
You don't need to declare your real name when you enter a church. Like it's like a lie detector. You're not allowed
That'd
to
be so
enter
funny.
your disguise.
The groups would get up. I declare thee, Grayson.
Oh, I'm on fire now because I used the wrong name. It's definitely not how it works.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking. It was just a question. Just a question for you.
I think it might be time to
our special guest.
take a break and move to our sponsor. We have a sponsor this week.
Yeah. And when we come back from our break or advertisement, we're going to have
Yeah.
a special guest with us on the phone.
Do you want to sign off for now, Derek?
Or do you want to stay on?
Yeah. Now I'll sign off. I have stuff to do.
Okay.
All right.
You're going to
and
miss our
I'll be
special
back.
guest.
Enjoy year end.
I'll be back in full capacity in a week or two.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hi, it's me, Tom Cruise, and I'm here to tell you about a very special product. And joining me today is Academy Award nominee Bradley Pitt to talk about this life-changing product. Hi, Brad. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. Happy to be here and very excited to talk with you about Big Bass Fish Scale Oven Mitts. These oven mitts are made of pure fish scales and can withstand temperatures of 75 degrees.
Wow, that's great. These oven mitts are also a great value and are very comfortable to wear. Did you know that fish scales are the most comfortable objects on the planet?
What?
I just can't help keep my hands out of these mitts. When I'm filming a movie, I always have the director telling me to get my hands out of these mitts. And the best part of this is they are available to purchase at any major online retailer and can be yours for the low price of $89.99.
But wait, Tom, there's more. As a special thank you to this podcast's listeners, we are offering a buy one, get one special. Use coupon code slightly biased at checkout to get a second pair for free.
Wow. And now, back to the Slightly Biased Podcast. And we're back with our special guest. Grayson, do you want to introduce our guest?
Boy, that was a great suite of products. We have with us here my father, Tedward.
Live from Austria?
Live from Austria.
My gosh.
Through the power of the internet.
Amazing.
Live from Austria. Hey, everybody. Nice to be invited to join. Thanks a lot. And yes, it's late here in Austria. It's about 12:40, midnight 40, 6 hours ahead of the East Coast.
6 hours. If it's 6 p.m., it is midnight there.
Math, love it.
Or if it's noon here, it's 6 p.m. there. Math.
You're getting pretty good at doing the math.
Yeah. That's like the easiest math. Anyway, I think we have some questions for you. Do you have any intro for us? You want to tell us how your week was or anything like that? Quick update.
Your bio. How'd you get to Austria?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, say again?
Just like a bio. Like, how'd you get to Austria? Stuff like that.
Etc.
Oh, boy. You are going to learn a little bit, maybe get a little bit of insight about why Grayson is the way he is when you hear me talk.
I can't wait.
But I will try to keep it brief.
Finally, some answers.
Let's see. So I grew up Army brat. My dad was a career Army helicopter pilot and project manager, program manager in helicopter area. And so we moved all over the place. After graduating from UMass Amherst, which is also Grayson's alma mater, I took 2 years, went to Japan, taught English on the JET program over there. Grayson's mother, my now ex-wife, joined me for part of that. And we came back after a couple of years. Let's see, what did we do then? Got into high tech. I trained to be a teacher, so that was cool, but it didn't really translate to what I wanted to be doing. And so I got into customer service, technical support. Moved to Germany for a couple of years for a company called Dragon Systems, one of the seminal speech recognition technology firms.
Oh, yeah.
So I started kind of get the theme of moving around a lot. Living overseas. I speak Japanese and German, as well as a little bit of English, as you can hear. And
by far,
yeah. So then, with all that background experience, I after Grayson's mother and I were divorced, I met my now Austrian wife on a business trip over here to Austria.
Gerlinda.
And Gerlinda, yes, her name is Gerlinda. Not Geraldine, not Gertrude. You'd be surprised at the misspellings you've seen. And anyway, so she came to the States for a while because I insisted on being present as my children grew up. And once they were all off to their lives and careers in university, we moved back here to Austria at the end of 2017.
With your daughter?
Oh, with Grayson's half sister, our baby girl, our young daughter, 4-year-old Liliana.
I was way off. I thought
Grayson
you went there.
Also has a younger brother.
I thought you moved there for work, and then you met your new wife there. I was totally off on this.
Yeah, no.
Okay, no. I was on a business trip in 2004 when I met her, and she actually moved to Dubai for 2.5 years in the middle of that courtship. So talk about a long distance relationship. And we arranged our wedding while I was in the Boston area and she was in Dubai. And we had a castle in Austria.
That was like the first time for me leaving the country. It was going to your wedding in Austria.
Yep.
It was a good time.
So that's kind of how I got to where I am.
I think it was,
how my week
I think was 15.
Any questions about that?
I think I was 15 when you got married, right?
It was 10 years ago last year, so you were 15.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Any questions?
I do have a question.
All right.
So what was the hardest adjustment of, moving to Austria from the States? But it sounds like you lived all over the world, so you're probably pretty easy for you.
I like to say that. That tends to be my mantra. I've done this. I'm good at this. I'm comfortable with this. But I will say, settling in for the duration, and we are keeping an open mind. We might retire to the U.S. I'd like to get back to the U.S. Eventually. But we're settled in for the duration, and that's a different mindset than knowing I'm going to be here for a few years.
You got cheap housing
So
in
I would say
Florida.
the hardest part is leaving my family, my older children, and my friends behind, my support network.
He cried when he said
rebuild
goodbye to his
here.
best friend.
It's a big step, moving across the world.
Yeah.
Start someplace new.
Oh, I cry at beer commercials. So.
Oh yeah. Cries at the national anthem before the football game. So does my mom.
Oh boy.
We're a very emotional family.
Really?
Yeah. Never would have guessed, right?
Well, yeah, and more surprising. I mean, I'm a big tough guy, but more surprisingly, my dad, the grizzled old colonel, cries at the drop of a hat too. So I come by it honestly.
We're all very emotional. It's in our DNA. Any more questions?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
When you meet someone new, do you immediately say to them that my baby boy is an Eagle Scout?
No.
Wow.
But it is. I don't immediately say that my baby boy, my number one boy.
Where did you get this?
I don't
question?
immediately say that. But I do brag on his being an Eagle Scout a lot.
He likes to brag about us.
I'm very proud of that, I don't wear it here, but for years and years, when you're a parent of an Eagle Scout, they give the dad a lapel pin, and I wore that for a long time. I wore it on my suit every day, and people would ask me, "What's that?" And I'd say, "Well, since you ask."
So he does. The answer is yes.
See, I just had a feeling,
Yep.
It's a big deal being an Eagle Scout, Grayson. I don't know if you know this or not.
Thank you.
When I meet someone new, I say, "Yeah, I know an Eagle Scout named Grayson." Every time.
That's true.
First thing I say.
I'm proud of the representation. Proud to be represented.
He answered all my questions.
That was all of them?
Well, he answered them through his stories.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about Austria. I love talking about Austria. I've been to Austria.
What's your most the part? What was the question? The part of it that's the most interesting to you? I think.
Yeah.
What's the most different or the most fascinating part of Austria compared to America?
Wow. Let's see. For me personally, I love the highways. I know it's mundane. It's probably a little stupid, but I'm kind of a driving snob. I hate driving in the Boston area because people just don't follow the freaking rules.
They're all idiots.
And maybe because I was spoiled from living in Germany in the 90s. But yeah, I really, and it's not perfect. People still drive in the middle lane sometimes, but most of the time, a large proportion of it, you're driving 90 miles an hour here safely. They do have speed limits in Austria. It's not like Germany, where parts of the Autobahn do not have speed limits. Speed limit here is 130, which is, what is that, like 80
85,
something?
Yeah.
But you can drive like 87 without any problem, without any tickets or anything. So I love that. That's the thing I probably.
When you go to
mundane,
pass people,
it's
they
kind
just
of silly, not very
move out of the way
Austrian.
after. Very
nice.
Yeah.
People don't drive in
the
left lane
because they stay out of the way.
Yeah.
They stay out of the way.
Yeah. People when anybody on the highway there, when anyone's done passing, they'll move to the right so that you can pass.
Yep. And that's one of the things that there's much less ego in driving over here, I found, than in the States. In the U.S., people say, well, I'm going 70 and it's a 65. I'm already speeding. I'm going to stay in the left and I'm going to, they feel this, obligation to enforce the rules. And over here, it's like, you want to get a ticket? Get a ticket. It's your business, not mine.
I think they have an interesting culture in Austria of like unity. I think it has to do with the strength of their monoculture. Like there's not really many people that have like immigrated or left or whatever in like most, not besides the cities, most parts of Austria are very like homogenous.
Yeah, if I may correct that a little bit. So the Austro-Hungarian Empire for 800 plus years was it was one of the original superpowers. It was the seat of the Holy Roman Empire, the Habsburg monarchy, the Habsburg Empire. They were extremely diverse because they ruled over, Spain and the Philippines, and even beyond that, if you get back to later Austro-Hungarian Empire in the 1800s, they had Serbia, they had the Slavic. It actually is historically a very diverse country, although there's not as much brown skin as white skin here.
It's diverse in its whiteness.
That white skin is diverse in its whiteness and culturally very diverse, much more so than I'd say Germany historically had been. So that said, do they cooperate? Yes. They have a history of cooperation between the labor and the management. The labor unions are very strong here, and they come up with agreements that serve both, the businesses and the workers very equitably.
It seems like they're all on the same page, that they have all agreed that they're all on the same team.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I say that's fair. That's a fair assessment. It's consistent. I love it. I love it here. Culturally, I miss you, Grayson. I miss my older kids and my parents. But I do have to say I love living here. It's a very, very cool country with food and so little known facts. It's not Germany. I've actually had
Austria's
highly
not
educated
Germany,
people say to me, yeah, I've had highly educated friends in the States say, is Austria part of Germany? And no. And as I noted,
Maybe in the
back when
40s.
Germany was a bunch of warring
Boomers.
tribes, Austria was an empire. But yes, at 38 to 45, it was a district of Germany. It was broken into districts of
Back
Germany
in World War II.
after the
Yes.
Anschluss. Yeah. But aside from that, it is not and has not been Germany. And so they're kind of like Canada is to the U.S. as Austria is to Germany.
I gotcha.
So
Like a satellite.
That
state.
common
summarizes it pretty
language.
well.
Very heavily culturally
common
influenced.
language. Yeah, and people say, "Oh, you're German." No, for God's sake, I'm not German. No, oh, you're American. No, Canadians take a bit of offense to that as well.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah. Canadians hate being called
Yeah.
American.
Oh yeah.
That's how you can spot a real Canadian, because they're like, "Are you American?" And they go, "No."
Okay, so other little known facts. So again, it's not Germany. It's a tenth the size, kind of like the economy and the population is the tenth the size of Germany. So we kind of get overshadowed by the big brother to the north. It is much more conservative than Germany. It is much more Catholic, whereas Germany is more Protestant generally.
Do you say it's
But,
more conservative?
Yes, it is more conservative overall than Germany.
That's interesting because
although
it's much
although
more
the-
liberal than
although
America.
the politics here would be, so the Conservative Party is currently the head of the government, now the right of center, you might say, and they are still going to be left of, I wouldn't say left of the Democrats, but left of
Like
center
par.
in America.
Like par with Democrats.
Yeah.
Their conservatives are
yeah.
our Democrats,
So-
basically, ish, or our moderate Democrats.
What the Democrats used to be. The Democratic Party has gone farther left these days, but
So
yes,
they're-
it's
they're
what
like-
Democrat- it's like
They're like the Biden.
It's like Kennedy Democrats.
Yeah,
Oh.
like Biden Kennedy era. That's their conservative party. Is our Biden?
Oh.
Is
Yeah.
our
Oh,
Biden?
jeez.
Yeah, their conservatives are our Bidens.
Yeah, they're not about to abandon national health care, for example. They're
Right.
not. They're not talking Brexit,
Yeah.
or Austrogzit, or whatever they call it.
Aussexit. Ugh, I hate that.
Yeah. So, so it's a small-ish country. It is another thing people think of it as like the sound of music. The hills are alive, and the alpine. It is 2/3 of it's alpine. My house is at about 1,700 feet altitude, but a quarter of the country lives in Vienna.
Yeah.
8.7 million people, and like 2 million live in Vienna. So, and Vienna is a huge plain.
How far are you from
whereas
Vienna?
it is, yes, it's.
Like an hour.
I drive into Vienna for work every day, and it's
Oh, wow.
best case scenario 45 minutes, but hour 15.
I went to Vienna in end of 2018, and it was amazing. I love
It's
Vienna.
a great city.
It's like the number. It's like rated like number one city in the world to live in.
That's right. That's right. It's
It is.
consistently near or at the top, and it's pretty, if you like living in the city, which I don't necessarily, but I love Vienna. Yeah, we had a good time, right, Grayson?
Oh yeah, we had a
Like the
great
Blue
time.
Vine?
Yeah, I went to stay with him for Christmas.
Yeah.
As the consistent listeners would know.
It's great. I'd go back.
Gotta go back.
Great train station.
Take your honeymoon. there.
Yes, great public transit. Apps. Now, for all the greatness that the history and the culture and the benefits, and I get 6 weeks of vacation and all that, I do pay 50% taxes.
Oh shit.
My income tax, and I'm not.
You're not in the
wealthy.
upper
I'm
bracket.
certainly upper. I'm upper middle class, let's say, but I'm paying 50% income tax, and that's
So much.
you get up to that level before 100,000 euros a year.
Do you
Kind of like a
do
dollar.
you rent or own a home over there?
We built a house.
Oh wow.
That's an interesting
which,
question.
by the
Was
way,
like
and-
the cost of real estate? Was there a difference? Like, is it like obviously it's
Is
like
the land cheaper there?
yeah.
We live, as I said, an hour in the countryside in my
Middle of
wife's
nowhere.
hometown, and it's a lot less expensive than Vienna, which is crazy
Is it more than
expensive.
here though?
But it was still expensive,
Oh, okay.
and you're paying 20% sales tax on everything.
Jeez.
Money. They have good bridges.
That's
good,
after
good
the 50%
highways.
income
Good
tax.
everything. Like,
Good health care.
like everything must be good.
good
then.
hospitals.
Yeah, but well, okay, yeah. We won't get into that necessarily in terms of debating it, but
Fiscal policy.
the healthcare is universal. It is not necessarily the same customer service or
the quality of the
I would
care.
say not necessarily as good as the best American healthcare, but not all Americans get the best American healthcare.
Yeah.
All Austrians get this healthcare, and it's
So on average,
the fat metal.
it's better.
Yeah.
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 Not every
very average.
Not every city in the world can have Boston Medical Center.
Yeah. You know.
True.
Boston is like the number one city in the world for hospitals.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them in like.
No, I mean like
space.
in terms of quality of care and like range of options, there's no city in the world that has a better selection than Boston.
So I said at the beginning of the call that you probably learned a little bit about why Grayson is the way he is, and I do apologize for rambling on and talking over you.
No, this is encouraged.
No, this is
the norm.
This is perfect. Perfectly for part. I mean, you listen to the pod, so.
I do.
So,
and I bite my tongue sometimes. Sometimes I text you.
Wow, good to know. All right, getting some roasting.
I'm joking. Oh, come on. You know, it's all from love.
Oh yeah.
Love this guy. Love you, man. So Austria, coffee culture is.
They do. They have really good coffee there.
Yeah, I've had their espresso.
They have like they have a menu, and they have coffee house culture. They call it, and it is a thing.
I'm still just kind of.
And you have a cup of coffee, and you sit there for hours talking, religion and politics and philosophy. It's very cool.
I'm having a moment right now, dreaming about the coffee there. Yeah. It's so good.
What do you mean? Dunkin' Donuts right there. It's the same thing.
Doesn't compare.
They do actually have Starbucks here, believe it or not. I don't know who goes there except for the tourists.
I went to a Starbucks when I was there. That helps. Because I knew what was on the menu. I could just order it and be done.
It's a little slice of home.
Wine. They're very big on wine, although, Germany is beer.
Yep.
Austria definitely drinks its share of beer, but they are big in the wine scene, wine bars, wine cafes. They make a lot in the southern and southeastern part of Austria. They have a big wine region. Really, really good wine here. But they don't export much of it to the U.S. They drink it all.
When,
good for them.
When I went over to visit, we went to a wine cave.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a wine cave and then we got kicked out of the wine cave because we didn't have reservations.
Oh. Yeah. They let us buy bottles of wine.
Classic Americans just barging in. I get it.
They let us buy some of the wine. It's nice.
Yeah, got a couple bottles. That was good. So let's see. They are a core part of the European Union and the economic zone and the Schengen zone. But in order to get the USSR to back their troops out in 1955, they are constitutionally, militarily neutral. They're not a member of NATO.
Interesting. Could they just join?
I think they'd have to change the laws.
They could do that. That's the thing you can do.
I thought it was encoded in their law, but they won't. They really like being neutral.
Why even have a military?
And it's why
defense. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the history of Europe, this last not even 100 years, 75 years,
uncharacteristically peaceful.
Uncharacteristically peaceful, and that's even that's not even counting the Yugoslavian war, which was like 20 years ago.
Are you implying there will soon be a new era of combat in the European front?
I hope not.
I'm implying that one should not be myopic.
It could happen. They never know. It could just erupt into war at any time.
Has. Yeah, my wife disagrees with me. She said, well, we don't. At one point, anyway, she disagreed. She said, we don't really need a military. We're not, we're never going to have another war in Europe. And I almost choked on my coffee.
You never know.
You never know.
The main purpose of modern first world country militaries today is peacekeeping in other countries.
What if there is an emergency,
like Iraq,
a disaster,
Syria,
and they need the military to help them?
Libya, Lebanon, Palestine. That's where all of our troops are. They're in the Middle East.
Yeah. No. Now, Vinny, you make a very interesting point.
I try.
So right now, we have a new government in place here in Austria. The old one was a center-right, far-right coalition in the parliamentary system, and that broke down when the far right had a big scandal for selling power, basically. So sounds
Go
familiar.
figure.
Um,
Never heard of that before.
Weird.
There was a new election held. The center-right won the plurality again, but they did not win an absolute majority, so they have to rule in coalition.
They had to make a
This
compromise
time,
with other parties.
Since they basically were not going to go back into coalition with the second biggest party, the far right, they went into coalition, and they won't go into coalition with the, quote, Democrats, the left, the socialists.
Too much bad blood.
Because they just will never do that. They won't get bad blood. But they went into coalition with the Greens.
The more liberal than liberal
And if you
party.
don't know what the Greens are, it's like it sounds. They're the far left party. They're the Bernie Sanders party.
It's so funny that the center right skipped over the middle left and went to the far left.
Yes.
YOLO.
Yeah. So to that end, one of the things that now the
That's a
defense
never Bernie
minister, the new
thing.
defense minister who I met the other night because I was at a ball at the military academy.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, they're big on balls here.
Well
season.
then.
Yeah, at the cotillion. So she is center right. She's People's Party, but the Green Party was negotiating the terms of how they would govern together. And what they want, they're saying is that we shouldn't have military equipment and tanks and airplanes and helicopters anymore. They don't have much anyway.
They want to get
But
rid
they're
of them?
saying we shouldn't have that at all. We should focus on cybersecurity and rely on our allies to protect us militarily. And I'm like, oh, bad idea.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
That
mean,
does
remember
not sound
NATO.
good. They can hold you hostage essentially at that point. Like,
true. You think they should have nukes?
no, no one should have nukes.
No one should have nukes. Well, then you do get that MAD,
The what?
mutually
Mutually
destruction.
assured
Oh,
destruction.
that's cool too. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
on board with that.
Anyway, so that not to get too deeply into that politics, I thought that was very interesting. What you said.
This
is,
podcast,
it should be
politics?
focused
No.
and what they said is it should be focused on cybersecurity and specifically to your point, Vinny, handling national emergencies, weather emergencies, things like that.
As the listeners and you might know, Vinny is actually in the U.S. military.
Yes.
Air
yes.
National Guard,
So
what's
thank you
up?
for your service.
Thank you.
I'll be
Thank you for
cliche
Grayson.
and say that. Oh well, hey, I did I worked
That was your
hard on him.
contribution. Your contribution was me.
Hey, well, as my father said, my children are my immortality.
Ooh,
They
well
are what
put.
perpetuate our both genetic and cultural material, as we, for better or worse.
Yeah. So Vinny is Air National Guard.
Correct.
Reserve.
A&G, nice. So what do you
Reserves
do
is
for the
different.
A&G?
Telecommunications.
Computers.
Cool. Do you go down to like Otis for that, or where do you go?
Been there.
Oh,
Been to Otis. Been to
Yeah.
Westfield.
I have a very good friend who does very secret things in Otis.
Oh,
Ooh, scandal.
scandal.
Secrets.
Yeah. Anyway, so great. Grayson, you might know we have a long tradition of service in our family. I'm deaf, and Grayson's not interested in it. His brother served. I get both sides of it. But hopefully, but this is the first time since 1958 there's not a Kempster in active duty uniform.
Oh yeah, because Devin didn't re-enlist.
Since his brother got out.
Yeah. He was enlisted for 4 years and he chose not to re-up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's if you don't mind, let's pivot. I wanted to get your hot takes on some current topics. What do you think what do you think of the coronavirus? Do you think this is a big deal or is this a bunch of nothing?
Ooh, good one.
He's seen a lot in his life.
Yeah.
And you know me well enough to know that I have an opinion.
Yeah, about everything.
It's
the right podcast for it. We're all slightly biased.
What's that? What's that?
Yeah,
I am
an
slightly
opinion?
biased. On the one hand, so anyway, no hands here. I think if you look at the numbers, we despite the fact that we actually have vaccines, which I often don't get for the flu, we still have thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of deaths annually from that. That's we've become numb.
Correct me if I'm
to
wrong,
the
but
fact that we have a virus that kills us on a regular basis.
now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the flu virus is seasonal. The flu vaccine is seasonal because there are constantly new strains being created. That's what's dangerous about the flu, right?
Yes, because science and evolution. Yes.
Well, I mean, that's kind of
So
that's just kind
every
of
year
nature trying to fuck us. That's just nature being like,
Well,
hey,
that's-
you thought you were cured of this, but
absolutely.
fuck you. We're gonna mix it up.
Finger guns.
Well, that's the nature of viruses.
Yeah, they're volatile like that, right?
They evolve. Yeah, absolutely. So we, and every year we have a new one that tries to knock down a couple of the major strains. They can't make a bazillion different. They could make a bunch of but then they'd never get the shots out to people.
Too many
Anyway, so
vaccines.
the flu, and it's that's already there, and we already have a way of dealing with it, and it still kills a bunch of people. The coronavirus. Anytime a virus jumps from animal to human is scary. That's what HIV came from.
Oh yeah,
It's going to be kind of unpredictable and a little bit. So I'm concerned about the coronavirus. I'm not panicking about it.
it's it seems to be taking over China.
You know the definition of what's the difference between concern and panic? Can I tell a dirty joke?
I don't know. Hope. You
Yeah,
don't have to
the
tip
joke is
panic.
concern is the first time you can't do it the second time. Panic is the second time you can't do it the first time. You can cut that.
Yeah, I didn't get it anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, so probably not a big
Vinny?
issue.
Okay.
Well,
I would say it merits our attention and precaution. I think it's getting blown way out of proportion.
I heard that Tesla donated like $5 million to the local CDC equivalent in that region of China.
Wouldn't it be safe to say, though, that we don't know how bad it is in China, since China's probably not giving us all the facts anyway?
I mean, yeah, the interesting thing is that we're getting numbers at all.
Yeah, I have heard rumor that it is way worse in China.
It's got to be way worse. Like,
there's no doubt that they're underreporting or that they're lying because, I mean, they're China. That's what they do.
Because they don't want to look weak.
Right.
You know?
It is the position of the Soviet government that a nuclear meltdown is not possible in the USSR.
Yeah. I mean, the latest death toll in China is only 213. I think it's way higher than that.
No, well, I heard 700
death.
Yeah, either death.
Infected.
It might have been infected.
They're building a new hospital for this to handle this virus.
Yeah.
Like,
they said they would build the hospital in 4 months.
I think they're less than 4. It was like 2 weeks. They're
2
going to
weeks.
build a hospital.
Yeah, they're going to build a hospital in 2 weeks. I believe it. They could do it.
Oh yeah, they're nonstop.
I think the really scary thing about it is that it's not like you can just get to the hospital, get some Tamiflu, and get better. I mean, people, you get this, there's a good chance you're not going to make it. So I guess that's even though it's a better than 50-50 survival. Maybe we don't know, but that's the scary part. We don't know. It's the uncertainty and the lack of knowledge. So yeah, that's scary.
What do you think about the debate that you might not actually know about, but the debate between astronomers and technology moguls regarding the StarLink internet satellite constellation that is being built by SpaceX? Are you familiar with that debate?
You know that I have a very, very tender spot in my heart for stargazing.
Are you familiar with this debate?
I love lying out on the dock on Lake Winnipesaukee and looking up and watching the stars, and even in more recent years, watching the satellites go by. But so I'm not a big fan.
Are you familiar with the sides of this debate?
My understanding, so not entirely. I understand that there's an array of satellites that's going up or gone up.
So
that is going to cause a problem with stargazing.
Yeah,
and
so
they could arrange them to do advertising.
Advertising? Oh, I don't know about that, but So the crux of it is that right now we have internet satellites that can provide internet services to people around the world. The caveat of the existing system is that they are all geostationary satellites.
Yeah.
So, which means that they have to be really, really far away. They're like 100 times farther away than the ISS. The ISS is about 150 miles up. They're like 1,000 miles up. So they're in a geosynchronous orbit, which means that they are very far away, and the range, the delay, the latency on those satellites is such that they're not practical for everyday use. These are more for like extremely low bandwidth applications, like airplanes pinging home, or like packets from weather sensors that are just like a single, like one or two packets. So the existing global satellite, and also you have to point a dish at the point in the sky, right? So that's the other restriction. The new system that SpaceX is trying to build would be, instead of dozens of or a dozen satellites, it would be hundreds of satellites. The satellites would be very small. They would orbit lower than, or at or lower than the altitude of the space station. So very low orbit, very fast orbit, and it would be a network of them interconnected all over the globe on the scale of hundreds of satellites in the constellation. The benefit of this is that it's very high bandwidth because they're very close, and because there's so many of them, there is built-in redundancy. So you get high bandwidth.
Would there be like cell switching? So you're using one as it flies over, and then the next one flies over. Kind of like cell towers, but the towers move instead of
right. Exactly. So that is the idea of the system. You put enough satellites into a constellation where they are close enough to the ground that you get cell switching between the satellites. The receiver and transmitters are about the size of a pizza box. They're using a very cool directional radio transmitter antenna array that is crazy science about how it works. It looks like a pizza box. It is a directional focused radio connection. I don't know how it works, but it's like cutting edge radio science on how to bend the radio waves to point as the satellite flies overhead with a solid state transmitter, still being able to bend the radio waves and point at the satellite. Very, very cool technology. The receiver is about the size of a pizza box. What? The receiver itself, there's no satellite dish. The receiver itself is about the size of a pizza box on the ground. You buy one of these, and you will get enough bandwidth to support like a building.
And what's the price on these receivers?
There hasn't been any pricing.
Is it a lower?
There has not been any pricing yet. No.
And is there a subscription fee to this, or you just buy the receiver?
This would be a monthly thing. This would be a monthly internet service to replace your cable or fiber service. They haven't.
Which I would love, because our service out here in the countryside.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea behind this is to bring high bandwidth
to the world,
reliable internet to the entire world. Every single square inch of the world would have immediately high bandwidth internet.
And how many star gauges are there in the world?
Every single village in Africa would instantly. Every single village in Africa would instantly have high broadband internet.
If you could connect,
you'd need one of these for the whole village.
You spend so much time thinking about whether or not you can do something, you don't stop to think about whether or not you should.
Well, think about the quality of life that would be improved to every single person on the planet, including people in Utah and the mountains of Montana who have never had. They're on dial-up still. You know?
I'm for us. I'm all for this. Like,
okay, so maybe the Utah and the mountains of Montana, but I think it's a little shall I say paternalistic to say that every African village wants internet access, but
I think it is a force multiplier in the likelihood of them succeeding in life.
Totally.
If they want to join, with the caveat, this is a globalist perspective.
Fine too.
This is a globalist perspective.
Do they even have a computer? Like, that's what it comes down to next.
They can now. Maybe they've never been able to.
Just think of how it could transform their lives. Just even access to YouTube.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah, you could
get learning to do things.
Think about the incredibly intelligent 16-year-olds that are creating good content in America. Now expand that possibility, that ability to lift yourself out of poverty just through the internet, just through making YouTube videos, through making TikToks. You can give that possibility to expand to clever, intelligent people who don't currently have the capability to break out.
I remember reading like an article a few years back about a guy who just like learned to build like a windmill or something for his village by reading a book.
Yeah, he was like building cell phones, building radios and stuff.
Building water pumps and stuff like that.
If they could learn on YouTube how to do that, how it would transform their lives.
Exactly, the entire internet.
And that's great. And at the same time, you guys ever seen the movie The Gods Must Be Crazy?
No, I haven't seen that.
I've heard of it, never seen it.
You should see that. it's kind of boring compared to more modern movies. Back in the early '80s, I think it came out.
Yeah.
But it's basically like a Coke bottle falls out of an airplane over an African village, and this guy's like, "What the hell?"
The gods must be crazy.
Kind of
Yeah.
Opens his,
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I get the premise.
So, my point being that I love technology. You love technology. We all.
This wouldn't be what we're currently doing wouldn't even be remotely possible without technology.
Agreed, and which I love, and I love seeing your face and talking to you, across the way, the miles, and my parents. But I just don't want to be so arrogant as to say my way's the right way, and just to presume that people who have other lives and other ways and cultures. I don't want to presume that they don't want technology. I don't want to presume that they do. It's nice that they might have it available, but you also have to look at you also have to consider the prime directive, which isn't really a thing. I know it's science fiction, but interfering with another culture.
They don't have to buy the receivers.
Presenting them with things.
They don't have to buy the internet.
Interference.
They don't have to buy them.
I'm going to give them to him.
Yeah,
I'm going to give it to him.
Go fund me.
You can't put that genie back in the bottle.
Oh no, the people in Africa will learn.
They're going to tweet things. No.
Oh no.
Well, again, I don't want to presume either way. So but just consider the unintended consequences of any of these things. So the obvious one, back to your question, I don't want to fuck up the night sky. Can I say that on this?
Yeah, no. Yeah, you can swear. The obvious counterpoint is there are astronomers that are saying this will ruin telescope observations. This will ruin long-term exposure experiments. But there are interesting, there are points on SpaceX's side about how they are making an effort to work with astronomers and see what they can do to augment the existing satellites in such a way that it will minimally interfere with stargazing and astronomy. And
the other thing is this array of satellites. Who owns it?
The company SpaceX would own the constellation. They would provide internet service as a paid service to customers.
Right. So monopoly for starters. And
no one else is doing this. Well, there are other companies.
Government will come in and say, well, you shouldn't have a monopoly on this, and we will.
They don't.
We're going to take it over and socialize it.
So this is an interesting point, and I've thought about this a lot. This is an interesting point. Do you remember that scene in Iron Man where he's in the congressional testimony and he's like, the government is trying to get him to give the government his Iron Man suit?
Correction, this is Iron Man 2.
This is Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 1.
I was generalizing to the Iron Man series of films. Yeah, Iron Man 2, he's in the congressional oversight hearing, and they're like, give us the suit. And he's like, no, it's mine. I built it. You can't have it. Thank you. Cite the law that says you have to give it to me, etc. And then he walks out. And eventually, I think they go to Justin Hammer to get the alternative. So, what this comes down to is a couple legal points. One, they have to get a permit to launch every satellite. So the government is approving them doing this.
That's a lot of paperwork.
Well, not every individual, but every launch has to be approved by the IAC or International whatever committee for satellites. So technically, if the government wanted to stop them from doing this, at any time they could just stop approving them. I think there might be some sort of not appraisal. What's the word?
I don't know.
Appeal process if they get rejected by some biased process. I think they do have the option to appeal. But the overarching thing is they are doing this for free. They are not paying anybody to build these satellites. The really cool thing about this, SpaceX owns the rockets. The rockets are reusable. SpaceX has a branch of their company that is building the satellites. SpaceX is not paying anybody besides themselves for building these satellites and launching these satellites. The expense to launch a pack of satellites, which is I think 60 satellites per launch, that they flat pack them and launch them all at once. By the way, that's insane. 60 satellites at once. They flat pack these. The only expense is the materials that go into the satellites, the fairings and the upper stage if they can't recover the fairings, and the fuel and oxidizer. Those are the only expenses to launch this. They keep the rocket, they reuse the rockets that they land, and they launch them for other commercial missions.
Cool.
So they are doing, and like nobody asked them to do this. This is something that Elon Musk said, I want to bring high bandwidth internet to the world, to the entire world. And he did this as, this is a
sounds
crazy,
like a Bond villain.
this is a
coming out.
crazy act of philanthropy at the optimistic end and a crazy act of tyranny at the lower end. And
Yeah.
And the FCC with Ajit Pai, actually, if anything, the FCC with under Ajit Pai and the Trump government, the Trump cabinet, if anything, they would facilitate the tyranny of this system, because the FCC recently, because of Trump, has loosened net neutrality regulations that would potentially, if they wanted, allow SpaceX to do tyrannical shit on their internet.
Control the
network.
internet.
Yeah. So, and the FCC under Obama enacted net neutrality, which classified the internet as a utility, and meaning that you can't be biased about the way that you regulate it as a company. And Trump recently got rid of that rule through the FCC. So, if anything, all we would have to do is reinstate the FCC ruling that it is classified as a utility, which would force them to basically treat people fairly and not, treat certain websites with a fast lane and a normal speed lane, or a fast lane and a slow lane, as the FCC is currently allowing internet companies to do. So my optimistic outlook of this is that they are giving people an alternative to the current monopoly, which is a current monopoly of fiber optic and coaxial networks on the ground. If you've ever tried getting internet in an area where you live, you usually have one, maybe if you're lucky, two options for getting internet in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
That is currently a monopoly. We currently do have monopolies for the internet in most areas of the United States. So, like, this is actually the opposite of that. This is actually giving people competition. This is actually creating competition for everyone in the world, essentially.
Yeah, and to the positive side of that, it's something that can't be blocked out on a town by town basis.
Exactly. Russia hates
the cable
this.
companies have contracts with each individual city.
Russia and China hate this network with a passion.
Oh yeah.
Russia and China, this is
I
their
bet.
antithesis. This is these pizza boxes will be like a felony. You'll be murdered in Russia or China if you're found with one of these pizza boxes, because you're bypassing their state government internet.
Right.
So this system
there's
is
a great
designed.
firewall.
The system is designed to be open. Is my point. It's designed to bring more access to people, not be tyrannical.
Question to Grayson.
Okay, well, so I can see as you ask about my position on that. I can see both sides of it. Little sad that the sky is going to get cluttered up, but I do like the idea of democratizing access to technology in general. Just be careful of unintended consequences.
Okay.
So that's my in a nutshell.
My question for Grayson is: will Domino's be delivering these pizza boxes, or is it DiGiorno from like the supermarket?
You get them from the freezer aisle. It's not delivery.
It's StarLink.
It's
wow,
StarLink.
That just writes itself. I'm
Yeah.
calling Elon right now.
Yeah. Call up Elon.
Has
his
anybody
number.
required Elon to watch the original Terminator movie?
He's a huge nerd. His favorite movies are the Monty Python movies and the Sprocket skit from SNL, and he's a huge nerd.
The Sprocket kid.
He has he's a huge Douglas Adams
being
fan.
that
He makes a bunch of Douglas Adams references.
Yeah, that's my point being that's kind of how things went south with the Skynet. Was it what it was called, and when it became self-aware?
Skynet in the Terminator movies.
Yes.
Well, the other interesting thing about Elon Musk is another interesting thing about Elon Musk is that he has actually been shouting from the rooftops. He's been pressing the sirens on AI for the past 15 years. He's been crying wolf about AI and how dangerous it is, and begging for regulation from the government on AI, because he's so scared of that AI is going to damage the society because it's not regulated.
Yeah.
And this is like it has to. I mean, I read a thing recently about the 2038 bug.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about the 2038 bug?
No.
I do not.
So we have another Y2K.
Oh,
I don't know.
can't-
This
can't
is a hot scoop from Slightly Biased Podcast. There's going to be another fucking Y2K, and it's the epoch. It's Unix time, epoch time.
Mm-hmm.
You know about epoch time, right? Or also known as Unix time, right?
Yeah.
There's a limit to epoch time. There's that
Okay.
in 32 bits, it's a signed integer. The maximum value that you can count up on epoch time. By the way, epoch time is what everything runs on. All the computers in the world use a timestamp code that is a number of milliseconds that has been counting up since some like 1978 or something. The maximum number that they can count to is January 20th, 2038. A computer
Right.
Can't wait.
In seconds. Right.
in milliseconds.
In 32 bits worth of seconds.
In 32 bits
milliseconds,
worth
yeah.
of milliseconds, you cannot count higher from 1978 to January 20th of 2038. And this is already causing problems. This is already crashing systems. There was a company that does long-term financial investments, and they wanted to tally a potential investment through this hardcore logging system that would count 20-year increments of an investment. And they ran it in 2018. Now you run this January 20th, 2018. 20 years from then is January 20th, 2038. So they wanted to project this algorithm out to 2038, January 20th, and the system crashed. And they lost $5 million in that day.
Where'd it go?
They lost $5 million of trading in a day because their system crashed because they tried to run a projection out to the end of epoch time.
Okay, so solution?
We die. Can't wait. Coronavirus.
Yeah, no, we have to go through and reverse epoch time on everything. We have to Y2K this shit again.
Good thing we have 18 years though. That's pretty good.
No, it's already a problem. We have to do it now. It's already a problem for companies that are looking 20 years in the future, like that one financial
Right,
company.
but not everything. But not everything's going to shut down unless you start looking. So we have a little time. People are aware of it.
They were running this.
We should be able to fix it.
This was some like Python script that they were running every day for 30 years. They were running this script every day for 30 years at this company. It was written in assembly or some shit.
Uh-huh.
And it was like written in assembly, and they've been running it every day for 30 years, and then January 20th, 2018, it crashes their whole system. We're here. The future is here. Skynet is here. So the point of that was algorithms. Yeah. So the point of this is that there's algorithms and AI that run like the NASDAQ is run on an AI. So like we got to fix this because it could be a huge problem.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So anyway, StarLink, cool, but potentially bad for astronomers. That was the point.
Right. And as an amateur astronomer who loves teaching my kids about that stuff, a little bit concerned about that. But again, technology's cool too.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that just about does it for this episode.
Thanks for coming on, Grayson's dad. We really appreciate it.
His name's Ted.
Thank you
but I
very
say
much.
Grayson's dad more.
I don't even know what your dad's name is, so I can't call you that. But what's your dad's name?
John.
John. Okay, so Vinny Johnson.
Oh, wow,
thank you very much
Vinny
for
Johnson.
having me on.
Yeah,
That's
come back
where it comes
anytime.
from, right?
Thanks for guesting. Sorry to keep you up as late as we have, but I assume if not, you would have been playing Call of Duty on your phone anyway.
Oh wow.
Or
1:30.
PUBG, sorry.
I would have been playing PUBG, and I will now let the NyQuil do its work, and
Oh,
hopefully
nice.
be bliss.
Have
All right.
fun.
Well, have a good night.
Take care. NyQuil, it's a 13th fucking step. All right. Good night, guys.
Night.
Bye.
Well, Grayson, that was good. Thanks for having your dad on.
That was a good time.
It's always fun to, bring parents in, get a little insight into people. My parents will not be on this anytime soon. Sorry to the listeners.
Aw.
They don't know what a podcast is. This must only confuse them. Put a microphone in their face. They won't know what's going on.
They could call into your phone.
Nope.
They could. You
That's,
could do it.
Not happening anytime
You
soon.
could
Maybe
do it.
maybe for our 150th episode.
Special guest.
It'll be a surprise.
What about the 100th episode?
That's a special episode.
Oh,
I'm
triple
still
special.
planning that
a
one
less
out.
a less special than that. All right.
Yeah.
150.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, everyone at home. If you have a comment or question for us, you can reach us at slightlybiasedpodcast@gmail.com or check out our home on the web at slightlybiasedpodcast.com.
Subscribe to us. Oh,
That's your
subscribe to us on Spotify as well. We also ask you kindly to please rate, review, and subscribe to this show. We're not on YouTube, so you can't really give us the subs, but you can give us the subs on Spotify.
Instagram too. You know.
Instagram.
Or Twitter.
We're on Instagram. Vinny is on Twitter at V8B8. I am on Twitter at _Doctor1994. The podcast is on Twitter at _slightlybiased_.
Yeah, same as Instagram, same thing.
Same as the Instagram, _slightlybiased_.
And this podcast is now powered by Pinecast. So check them out at pinecast.com.
Thank you, Pinecast.
I've been Vinny.
I've been Grayson.
Until next time, goodbye.
Kisses.
Turn this off.
If you can dream it, you can do it.